Wow, dude. Is this place just loaded with fish? Right there. Better? This is going better than expected for being out here for about 2 minutes so far. We just stopped on the first. Good morning, YouTube viewers. What is going on today? We are back with another video. Where are we? What are we doing? Well, this is the final day of my North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota tour. The last 13 days I've been on the road, fishing central Minnesota, western Minnesota, a stretch of the Missouri River system on Lake Sakakawea. Now we have a seminar tomorrow in Bismarck. So my decision when I left Sakakawea was either to drive to Bismarck, get some editing done, be responsible, get a few good nights sleep, do the seminar and go home. The other decision that I could have made, which I did end up making, was drive multiple hours south to Lake Oahe, and then tomorrow get up early and drive back to Bismarck for the seminar. So that's what we did. We're on Lake Oahe. I've never been here before, and this place is enormous. Someone in the comments section could tell you how long it is. I want to say this place is like 100 and some miles long. Like, it is massive, right? Huge reservoir system, body water / river, right? Huge place to fish. So we have 1 day to fish, right? We have zero kind of idea of what's going on out here, but a lot of times we're just going to kind of take you guys fishing today is the honest truth. And we're going to try to do it casting with basically two different presentations right here. 1/4 ounce jig, Kalen's Jerk Minnow Jr. 3/8 ounce jig, Kalen's Jerk Minnow Jr. Search bait. We're going to tackle this monstrous body of water with a spinning rod today, which is probably ill-advised in order to find and catch the most fish, but I'm confident we could put something together. Now, a lot of times you can use basically what's happening seasonally, even on a massive body of water like this, to get around fish a little bit quicker, right? So if we kind of come over to the map here, I'm fishing out of Mobridge, which is South Dakota, and we're in mountain time, believe it or not, right here, which is kind of cool for me, for my Wisconsin self. But a lot of times you could take the way a body of water like this is laid out and kind of pick it apart accordingly, right? So obviously we have kind of like a very rivery stretch of this way north of here, like up towards Bismarck. And then as you move south, it becomes very deep and much more lake-like, right? And a lot of very, very deep water. So you can assume that a lot of these fish go way north early in the season, April, May, spawning, right? And then there's probably some that are up there in the fall, I would assume. And then as the season goes on, they spread their way down through the system. So a lot of times what you can do is you can kind of get on the Lake Master right away. And what you can kind of do is like look for where it turns into kind of a lake, right? We're fishing this June time frame. So if I get up in here, you can kind of see how like a lot of shallow stuff up in here. If I zoom in here a little bit, we'll keep zooming and zooming and zooming. You can see this is all shallow, like less than 12 feet of water. Now, I'm sure there's fish up here, but a lot of times what you can do is just kind of start scrolling south, especially in this early summer time frame, until it turns into a lake, until you start getting some depths. Let's just say until we hit like a 30-foot basin, right? And now this might not be like an accurate thing to do at all, but this is my thought process as I walk you guys through it. So here we have, obviously this is going to be some slower current down here. It's getting a little bit wider, and we have a lot more deep water once the map kind of refreshes here. You can see we're in 18, 20 feet. Now if we keep coming south here, now this really opens up down here, right? This is kind of what we're looking at. So let's zoom in, let's see how deep we are. All right, so here we got 50 feet of water. So a lot of times what you can start doing in a lot of these reservoir systems, these massive reservoir / river systems kind of fish similar, where a lot of times what you're looking for is some kind of hard bottom point extension. And a lot of times they're going to come out of like these creek arms or these dry creek arms that aren't really, there's not really much flowing water anymore, but something that would look like this, right? So here what we have is an offshoot of this section here, right? And a lot of times what I'm going to try to do today is just hit as many points that look like this and this as possible. And the farther they extend out to me, the better. So if we kind of keep scrolling down here, we'll just try to find like a really good looking one here. And kind of, I mean, basically our plan is to burn a ton of gas and go fish as many of these spots as possible. And we're going to burn a lot of gas doing this. I can just already tell you this for sure. And if we keep going down here, let's try to find something. The map is, it's such a big body of water that you got to scroll out kind of so far just to kind of see it. Something that maybe looks like this right here, right? Here we go. Here's a point extension that comes out of one of these back creek arms, and it looks like it's probably going to be like hard bottom on that. So I'm going to drop a waypoint right here. Now, I'm sure that if you just troll, you probably would run into more fish. You'd probably contact more fish. But today we got a nice flat, calm summer day. So the plan is to hopefully we'll be able to implement my strategy very well to get on some of these points, drop the Mega Live, and kind of sharpshoot fish, right? Now, this Missouri River system is loaded with like carp and other rough fish as well, like a lot of river systems. So we're gonna have to kind of siphon through stuff that's not walleyes, you know, on the graph to see like, oh yeah, that's a bottom relating walleye. Let's make a pinpointed cast at it. But this is my game plan. I'm kind of excited. It's Lake Oahe, enormous body of water, and we're hopefully gonna catch some fish pitching jigs today in hopefully shallow water. But I'm kind of set up to fish in, you know, 20 feet and shallower right now. So stay tuned. It's an exciting day. Kind of reaching burnout on this road trip, but there's enough excitement because I'm at a new place where I think we can hold it together today mentally. So let's get it going on. Beautiful day, Lake Oahe, enormous body of water. I think the thing here is if you got to try to find some bigger fish. I met a guy at a gas station who was from, where's he from, Eau Claire or something? He said he caught a lot of fish yesterday pulling bouncers, but only 2 were over basically 15 or 20 inches or something like that. So the hope is that we run into some of those big fish. So there is giants in here as well. So this intro is getting kind of drug out. Let's blast off, catch some Lake Oahe walleyes, and hopefully figure it out today. All right, stop number 1. The other goal today is not to hit a submerged tree. I know there's like a lot of submerged trees out here. I don't know if they're in like 30 feet or 40 feet or if they come to the surface or whatnot, but we're gonna arrange this around here. We'll take this and point it up at me so you guys can see what I'm doing up here, huh? What do you guys think? And if I'm like catching fish and you guys are like, geez, this guy's not even excited, just know that in my heart I am excited. Just energy is waning at this point in this trip. But we're gonna try. We're gonna get that down. We're gonna start this up. I can already feel there's like a little bit of current, which I like. I'm never sure like how much really current we're gonna have on a system like this. And we're on stop number 1. It's just kind of a little point that comes off here. Very deep water here. So for a lot of you guys that maybe have never looked at a map of this, the whole basin's like, I mean, a lot of this, like going south of here, is like 100 feet deep. At least that's what the map says. All right, so those are definitely fish up there. About 60 feet out, which I casted way farther than 60 feet just now. All right, well, what do we got here? That was like my second cast. It is a walleye. Oh, there we go. This pattern will work. I was kind of assuming after talking to a guy at the gas station that there's probably a lot of fish like this in here. So if that is true, I mean, chubby little 14 inchers, I guess he's about 15 probably, that there's probably going to be a lot of those, and it might be some kind of like combing through the graph to try to find like a bigger fish elevated up off bottom, which is always generally a little bit easier when you're in deeper water, but is doable in shallow water as well. Like you can see, there's another one right here, right? So I'll go ahead and cast, you know, about 50 out there. And we'll just do the same thing. Basically, just snapping the rod and then just letting it tail back down to bottom. A lot of times bigger fish will just kind of like punch it, or the smaller fish will kind of snap it off bottom. Like that right there. And this might be a lot of what today's gonna be, it's seeming like. It's good to see our assessment of what's going on out here is probably accurate. Because I mean, we made 3 casts and caught 2 fish already. A little 15 incher, I'll bet. They're eating the old jig though. And I don't know how many of these we're gonna end up putting in the video, but right off the bat, we're getting fish. There's definitely a bunch sitting on that edge right there. Yeah, look at this, man. This might be a little nicer fish here. Oh yeah, he's a 16, 17er. Well, we're having fun now. You can see that little school of fish. Oh, there's one right there. They're kind of out in here maybe. You could see a couple of them just right there sitting off that edge. And imagine they're gonna like kind of sitting on the currenty edge of these kind of things. This is going much better than expected for just like right off the bat. Now, obviously the goal today is gonna be to find a couple big boys, but we might just have to run an absolute mountain of water and just stop casting at things that look like that and just try to cast at like exclusively bigger marks. A lot of times what you're gonna see is kind of like I said, where your bigger fish will kind of elevate a little bit and get a little bit farther up off the bottom. We're sitting in 10 feet right now. And man, this will be a guaranteed fish. I mean, you just kind of see that, where those fish are, cast at that angle, and just kind of snap back. Pretty simple, really. Right there. Better? Come here, bud. Well, we're getting nice keeper size ones. He's a nice one. Look at that guy. The biggest one of the day so far in the first 10 minutes. Well, like I said, this is going better than expected for being out here for about 2 minutes so far. We just stopped on the first kind of point that looked a little fishy on the map. And there we go. Nice walleye right there if you want to keep one anyways. We'll let him go for now. A little 17 incher. Little 17er. And just pitching at a lot of these little things. Now obviously our bigger fish are probably going to look a little bit different, but it's nice to just get a little confidence going first thing in the morning, you know. Gonna take a couple exploratory casts way up shallow. Wow, dude. Is this place just loaded with fish? This is feeling smaller. Maybe not a bad one though. All right, well, I'm having fun right off the bat. And they're all nice fish. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these, for sure. Especially show up on a new body of water. I feel like, though, we're just like dealing with like getting lucky on the first spot. But we're absolutely piling them in. I mean, I've probably caught 4 or 5 more of those like little ones that I just haven't even put in the video yet. All right, well, kind of worked that little point all right. Let's on to the next one. It's gonna be like this all day long, I think. Or we're just gonna get into a point, see what's there, catch a few fish. As the day goes on, I'll probably just stop casting it. Like when I see like 10 of them just like wadded up super tight, they almost look like crappies. Those are not good big walleyes. So, you know, kind of the goal today is hopefully to get just a couple of those real good sized walleyes to go. But successful stop number 1. I'm gonna fire up the Yami and run on down the lake. Right there, fish on. All right, what do we got? Little guy, little guy. Lots of this happening. I don't know if like, probably been to like 4 spots. I don't know if like right away in the morning, it's just a little better with these shallow fish and basically no wind or what, but I've caught a lot of fish that size. Got him right there. Feeling all right. Feeling all right. Oh yeah, it's a nice walleye. That's a nice walleye. All right, buddy. It's been a while since we've had a real nice one like this. It's been a minute. I think they're definitely a little bit more active when the water, or when the sun is a little bit lower. So I don't know if we're gonna fish all day and just keep chewing through smaller ones, or if we're going to just take a break, go in, send some emails, and then come back out. But pretty nice one there, man. Super nice. Look at that guy. Pork bellies, dude. Absolute chunks. We'll take them all day like that. That's better than the 14-inch skinny variety. There was a few more out there, so I don't know if we can wheel around and get back on them here. I'm kind of spot locked, casting into the wind, so it should be doable. There's still a couple just way out there. It's always kind of the game of not getting too close to them, but staying just far enough away where they just kind of keep biting, you know. And I can read them. And it's definitely like you get on these big points, and there's not like fish all over them. A lot of times there'll be just like a little roll in the sand, or kind of where the point comes out and like crests right before it drops. So they're relating tight to the structure. It's just you can run a lot of water before you get around some, and they're not all very big. Got him right there. You guys hear me mutter a 4-letter word off camera? These are some alright fish. These are some all right fish. I thought I missed him for a second, but there he is, man. He's a good 17er, 16er, somewhere right in there. And you definitely just kind of go through a lot of spots where you're not really seeing, like, you know, anything decent. Then it's like all of a sudden you stumble on a point, you know, where you catch a few decent ones like this. So that's kind of how it seems to go. And all I'm doing, it seems like the sweet spot depth-wise, I would say is 13 to 8, based on, I mean, you can see there's one more kind of like out in that direction right there. Earlier this morning, it was like I could catch some way up shallow. Now it's like they're definitely kind of out a little bit deeper. Uh-oh. Do we got line tanglements going on? Well, it was a very anticlimactic end to the day of fishing. Didn't fish super late, fished till kind of mid-afternoon. The second kind of half of that, you know, basically like 11 a.m. to like 2 in the afternoon, I spent the whole time just targeting big marks on some like deeper stuff or off structure, and caught a bunch of catfish, sheep's head, snagged some carp, and basically only caught a few more smaller walleyes. So that was kind of the day. When you have one day to fish that much water, generally you don't figure it all out on the first day. I'm sure there's probably a deep water trolling thing or some kind of trolling bite that targets bigger fish, but we'll save that for the next time we're out there on Lake Oahe. And it was just kind of a random one-day pit stop before we had our next location, which I'm at now, back up in Bismarck to do an awesome seminar for a bunch of loyal viewers. So appreciate you guys watching this video. I was kind of on the fence about even making this a YouTube video. A little bit more grindery kind of day. Didn't figure it all out, but hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed watching it as well. So I appreciate that. I'm wrapping up a crazy week, couple multi-weeks on the road now. Looking forward to driving through the night and getting back home tonight and editing a bunch of this content. So appreciate you guys for following me along on this whole Western YouTube seminar swing, and we'll see you guys next time.